Hola, ¿qué tal a todos allá en casita? Soy Barbie Sánchez para En Casita con Barbie y hoy estoy en un momento tan hermoso en esta experiencia que estoy teniendo y darle la gracia pues a esta high school que me dio la oportunidad de hacer esta gran entrevista con este gran doctor de la NASA, especialista, ingeniero y que tiene que ver muchísimo con lo de la NASA, ha hecho muchísimas cosas también, especialmente con la Universidad Embry-Riddle University, la cual también es profesor que enseña a muchos estudiantes a que le empiece a gustar más esto que tiene que ver con la NASA, los spaceships, muchísimas cosas más. Así que por eso yo le voy a presentar esta tarde al doctor Down, que está aquí conmigo, que nos va a hablar un poquito de la NASA, de toda esa gente que le interesa el espacio, la luna, la tierra y todo lo que tenga que ver. Por eso lo tengo aquí. Así que this day we had Dr. Down.
Well,
How are
hello.
you?
Good.
You good?
I'm excited to be here.
You're not nervous, right?
No, I'm not nervous at all.
Okay, well, I don't think so. You are nervous because you've been in the NASA thing, working with a lot of things that people can do it.
Yes.
Very smart thing.
Yes, it's a exciting new venture for where we're going now to space.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm always excited. I'm glad to be here so that we can talk about it.
I'm more glad that you give me the opportunity to be here and talk to you about this, because this is very exciting and interesting. So they can see how that works, what they can do. It's not only a fly like an airplane, it's how more back. I have a lot of more things you can do if you don't like to travel. Get people scared. I don't want to die. They say I don't want to die, but that's not the only thing you can do in the NASA place, right?
Yes, it's engineering. It covers every part of a business, but the main thing is going to space. So there's a big focus on the vehicle itself and the engines that work with the vehicle and the connection and all the infrastructure that we could travel to space.
Okay, and tell a little bit more about yourself to the people in there. I'm gonna say that you are a quality engineering analyst and quality science. Also, you teaching a space class at the high school program.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So quality engineering involves when we have an orbiter, say like this particular space shuttle, which has been retired, but we have the engines on the back. And the main thing about these engines is they have to work flawlessly. They cannot have any issues at all, or you'll have a failure. Any failure would cause this whole ship to disintegrate, blow up, and would jeopardize the pilots or the astronauts, which astronauts are first pilots, and then they're astronauts when they leave the air breathing area of the Earth and go into outer space. Once they get to space, they are astronaut. So while they're in the atmosphere, they're aeronaut.
Aeronaut, like you are not.
So these engines are very critical. Those are the engines that I work with, the RL10, and the part that I worked with was to make sure that the quality of the build of the engine was perfect, so that they wouldn't have any engine failure.
Ooh, that's a very big responsibility. If something happens, they're gonna go on your head.
They would come and question me every part of the process of building that engine, where the failure point is, because the quality side checks everything to make sure it's within the spec that it's supposed to be, the tolerances. It can't be off a micron. Everything has to be exact and perfect.
Wow, incredible. I also heard that you work and also they had that rocket engine and the museum, and we was right there the other day with school. So can you talk about a little bit so people can understand better?
So at Kennedy Space Center, in the area that the kids went to, they had to be involved in a project, which was actually the capsule, which is at the very top of the rocket itself. In there, they have a model, an exact model of the RL-10 rocket engine, and that engine itself is what we looked at, and I explained how the engine, how it's built a certain way to provide a certain type of thrust. So every engine has a different size nozzle, and it's based on how much thrust they want that engine to produce to do the liftoff. So with this, you can see they got three big engines, they got two little small engines, uh, but they provide thrust for that particular function. And then they have all around the front, they have thrusters. They got little mini engines that also maneuver this spacecraft when it's in space. The big engines that I worked with, uh, that all the kids were able to see at Kennedy Space Center, showed all the detail of how it was put together. These engines at that time when I was working with them, they cost about $5 million a piece, and they were hand built piece by piece, and every piece had to be perfect. That's kind of hard to understand, but you look at your cell phone and you can see that it's shaped perfectly. Every part of it is very, there's nothing off on your phone. And so the engine has to be made the exact same way. Everything has to be inspected. Every piece has hundreds of thousands of pieces put, put together for that engine, and every piece has to be 100% perfect.
Oh my God, that's scaring me. Oh my God, that's a very big responsibility to make something like that perfect.
Yes.
I also saw there something very interesting for me that I asked you because I had the opportunity to go with you guys to have the experience and to saw everything there. You guys put some coding to the area doesn't work right in the spaceship or something like that, right? Like if it's something's not working good, you put some coding, and the person already know that one is not good.
Yes. When you're talking about the actual orbiter itself,
Yeah.
on the orbiter itself, it has coating all around. It has silicon, and it has different coatings on there that deal with the heat, and also the structure itself, the rigidity of the structure. And so that coating can come off.
Wow.
These are silicone, little silicone panels. And if they get damaged or they don't look right, when the orbiter comes back in from space, they have to fix every piece of this and make it look brand new again before it goes back to space. And so that was the coating that you probably observed when you went and saw the orbiter. So actually, all the kids got to see this.
Oh yeah, it was amazing.
This space shuttle up close. They could actually reach out and touch it.
And that was the real one, right?
That was the actual one that went to space. It was called the Atlantis.
That was crazy.
This one is the Discovery. That ship went to space, and of course, the main object of the space shuttle was to put the space station into space.
As a this going to the space, and I touched in Rio because I was there. Do I have any good luck for something? Because I feel like I already go to the Earth when I touch that.
Well, you saw what some people would say didn't happen or wasn't true. You actually saw the actual ship that went to space and came back. We lost two of them. We lost 14 astronauts. That was a heartbreaker. But the rest of the ships came back, and you actually saw that this is real. It's not a fairy tale. It is true. They did go to space. The space station is there. The Hubble telescope. You saw the Hubble telescope.
Oh my God.
So they had an exact model of the Hubble telescope, and it was big, 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 big telescope.
Yeah. But it looked like a small when you watch it through the TV. Yeah. This space, it doesn't look that big how I look over there. It was so huge.
Very big.
Oh my God.
It's a very big ship. In the cargo bay, all the parts of the space station went inside of this ship. Mm-hmm. So it had to be really big.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. So I have a question about this program that you offer in different high school.
Yes.
So what make you bring that to the high school? Why you say, I want to bring this? Why not?
Well, Embry-Riddle, usually in the university level, you get the training for if you want to become an astronaut, aerospace engineer, aeronautical engineer. It's always at the college level. So at Embry-Riddle, we have a program from the Gates Aerospace Institute that provides this at the high school level. So we bring the college courses, dual enrollment, to the high school. And in that, it offers the opportunity for the kids to get their pilot's license. To become an astronaut, you do have to have your pilot's license, be able to fly, and have so many hours. If you're going to be a specialist, maybe not as stringent, but if you're going to be the pilot of the spaceship, you do have to be a pilot. And so they have mission specialists that uh, get hired on. They have to learn how to fly, but not as rigorous as the commander of the spaceship. And so, with the program here at school, it gives them the opportunity to take multiple classes that you would have to take in college to reach that level. And so, the kids get a head start. They're able to figure out, hey, is this something I really want to do? It's actual college courses, so they have to pass because it stays on their transcript. But we also have a number of high school courses where they can feel their way into this whole program and say, hey, I like this, I really want to do it. And then they can take the college courses at the high school. And from there, they can actually go to the college of their choice or go to Embry-Riddle and complete all their studies. And they're on their way to be an aeronautical engineer, aerospace engineer. They can be mechanical engineer, electrical engineer. They have all the different types of engineers programs at Embry-Riddle, and they can follow the track that takes them to qualify for an astronaut.
Wow, that's amazing. So how they can reach to you, any high school that when you bring out that program, so what they have to do?
So if someone is interested, when I say someone, I'm speaking of a school, a high school particularly. All they have to do is contact myself if we're in the local area. There are only 2 schools in Lee County
Oh, wow.
that have this program. A third school is bringing it on. It's not a full program yet. And all they have to do is reach out to Gates Aerospace Institute at Embry-Riddle, and we can set it up. The teachers will be trained that will teach it. They may need some get some certifications like their drone commercial license. They might have to also get their advanced ground instructor. If they have their master's degree, they also would qualify to teach the college courses. And if they're a pilot, that's always a winning ticket. With their master's degree, you'll be
Nice.
able to teach all the courses. And we are getting ready to go nationwide. In fact, we are
Wow.
in a number of states already, but we're expanding even more. So it's up to the school if they want it.
Yeah.
We can set it up very quickly. Private schools, charter schools,
Anyone.
church schools,
Okay, yeah.
colleges, and universities, of course. We don't provide this program, but it is only at the high school level.
Yeah, because they start preparing to go to college.
That's right.
So they can decide, okay, I prefer to go to NASA school or NASA college or in Joiner. That's what they like. They discover what they like.
And Embry-Riddle, of course,
It's expensive college.
Embry-Riddle is like the best option if you want. It's like the Harvard of flight schools.
Wow.
As far as aeronautical university, it's at the top. I'm not going to say it is the number one, but it is at the top of the tier for aeronautical
Wow.
training.
How beautiful. So I believe they have the best teaching that's in college. So also, another thing that I want to ask you, the beautiful thing with your program is that you have like a complete program. You bring everything like a little bit. They feel like they are in the space. You have a simulator airplane. They can fly here. They can learning what to use, how they do it, everything.
So yeah, it's a complete program. We have the simulators that
We're gonna see in a few.
that we teach all the kids how to fly. and they get their firsthand experience. A lot of time kids are afraid, but once they get their hands on it and they see that this is not hard. It's easier than driving a car. Then that opens up the opportunity for them to think about, hey, I might want to do this for a career. The pay is 120,000 upwards to 800,000 a year. I think anybody can be comfortable with that salary, and it's their opportunity right now, an opportunity of a lifetime. There's a severe shortage of pilots. Not saying that every pilot has to be an astronaut, but there's going to be a big push for pilots to become astronauts because we're going to space, to the moon, to Mars, and beyond. And with the plans to populate Mars with 1 million people on Mars around the 2050 and beyond time frame, there's going to be a lot of space travel, a lot of people going to space, and most people that go, when I say most, once you leave this atmosphere and you go into space, you're technically an astronaut. So when you say 1 million people on Mars, you're talking 1 million astronauts on Mars.
Wow.
Because you have to go through the whole process of flying out of this Earth. And with that, you will have a spacesuit, and a spacesuit is the same as a spaceship. So a person by themselves flying out of this atmosphere, they will have their own spacesuit to contain them along with the spaceship itself. So that is where we're going, and that's what's most exciting for the kids, for them to say, hey, this is the future. Why not enjoy what's going to happen and be on the top tier?
Wow, how beautiful. I want to go back to my years so I can be in this high school, so maybe I can be like it with the spaceship or something. I would love to do it. Did I have time or not? Or not? Or yeah, my time is over.
Well, there's not a limit on age to become an astronaut. You just have to qualify and be selected.
All right, be very smart with the numbers. Okay, so we're going to continue with this interview and in a few. Y continuamos aquí, ahora estamos en esta gran sección donde vamos a coger una práctica de cómo se vuela una de estas naves, ¿verdad? En el Flight Simulator. Esta es una de las partes que el maestro usa para enseñarle a los niños a ver si le empieza a gustar lo que es cómo volar una nave. Y ahora yo me siento que también voy a volar. Y ahora continuamos aquí con Doctor. Explain to me about this Flight Simulator.
So this is the Redbird. It's called a Redbird Flight Simulator. It is a FAA approved simulator. Is a Cessna 172 cockpit. So exact same thing that's in the airplane is right here. So when you're flying, you have the same experience of flying a real airplane. And so if you're learning how to fly, instead of paying $200 an hour for the plane and the pilot, you don't pay anything, but you get the same flying experience. So this allows a student to become familiar with, this is a glass cockpit, because the old airplanes had dials. Like over here, the new airplanes have just a big
Screen.
screen, and everything is in that screen. So when you're looking at this screen here, over here is the airspeed indicator, the attitude indicator, and the altitude. In this one screen, they have all of that right here. So they have this here because most planes, in case there's a electronic failure, they have this as a backup.
Wow.
But most planes now don't even have this. They have redundant systems, so if something fails, another one kicks in and they keep flying. Other than that, a pilot has to immediately land the airplane till this is fixed.
Wow, that's very interesting. So I saw that when they try to fly, they can also fall down, and you can see over there on the screen,
Oh yes, yes.
like a real simulacrum.
If this plane is not flown, because this simulates the real airplane, so you can crash. You'll see yourself going down. You'll see everything
And sound and everything, the
before you
motions.
hit. But in the simulator, if it hits the ground or it hits a pole or a tree, the whole screen just goes blank
Wow.
to show you that you crashed or you probably are no longer alive. So, you know,
Okay. I want to do the practice, but I prefer you show me. Since I'm gonna ask you some question about you and the NASA stuff, since you show us how we can traveling or how this is start, because I know they have an amazing sound that make you feel like you are right there.
Yes. So when we're flying the simulator, I can take it off a pause, and
Wow.
then you have the sound,
I'm ready to travel.
just like the real airplane. So this is a piston, and so you get the same feel. I'm here flying, um, and we are flying in Fort Myers. If you're seeing the screen to my right, or as you look more to the right, you will see Sanibel, you will see Fort Myers Beach.
Wow.
And so we are at 2,200 feet, 2,260 feet. We're moving at 88 knots, which is like 95 miles an hour. And we are headed almost southwest. So the airport is to my right. You don't see it in your screen, but if I'm flying, this gives a simulation of, we're making a turn towards Pagefield Airport. And as we see the runway, you can see the runway coming. And so that's the airport right there. So in the simulator, it is just like the real thing. So now I am now setting up to make a landing. I make my call to the airport, and now I'm setting the airplane up to come in straight in for a landing. And
can you also change the location? Is only here for Myers you have it?
Yes, this has the opportunity to pick another airport.
Oh.
It has that in its location for the different airports in this area, and I think you can go to other airports around the world.
All right.
And they have the simulation where you can see, just like you're looking right here. I'm coming into the airport. If I was at JFK in New York, I can see everything that is um, happening at that airport. Any airport in the world, I would be able to simulate that. So just like I'm coming in here for a landing, I'm just
up,
setting myself up to land at the airport.
I gotta put my seatbelt, please. I don't want to die here.
And so we're coming in for a landing, and so in real life, when you set yourself up for a landing, you have to do exactly what you see here. And it is almost perfect for a pilot to learn how to do this.
Wow, that's amazing. Since you're traveling and you try to land, and I'm gonna ask you a question. What is your specific role in the NASA, and what led you to choose that career?
My specific role was more or less working with the rocket engines
Mhm.
with NASA, and that's a complete landing at Page Field.
Landing and landing and landing. Okay, can
Um,
you share any exciting projects that you have worked on?
so one of the exciting projects that I worked with was the project where they wanted to see if the moon had water under the
Wow.
ground, and so they had a specific
Do the moon have water?
probe that went to the moon, and we had the RL-10 rocket engine that I told you about. That was the main engine for the probe that went to the moon, and they fired the engine, and just like you throw a rock into the water, they threw the probe right on the moon surface to kick up all the dust and dirt, and in there they were able to see how much water was under the surface. And they found out that there was a lot of water under the surface of the moon.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Did you believe it? Él lo que está diciendo es que hicieron una prueba en la luna donde querían ver si tenía agua la luna, right? The moon. Y ellos encontraron que sí tenía mucha agua en la profundidad de la luna porque hicieron pruebas con piedritas que tiraban y como que todo subió y pudieron ver que había agua en la luna. Increíble, ¿no? Es very exciting, esto está súper espectacular. Espero que les esté gustando y ahora vamos con la próxima pregunta. Okay, next question. What does a typical day at your job look like?
So a typical day, when I was working at Pratt and Whitney with NASA, Pratt and Whitney, we were the subcontractor to build all the engines, and so there was a very close relationship where I could go onto the site of NASA, and of course they were responsible for taking care of all of my financial needs, which was very good. The day would start with me walking down the hall, looking at all the planets, ending at the sun. And the first thing I would see on the wall is the next launch of which rockets of ours was on the pad to take the next spaceship into space. And so there's a countdown, and then immediately I would go to my office and I had to set up the whole PowerPoint presentation for all the rockets that go into space. And so once that is done, then I had all the departments that supported the build of the rocket engine, and there I would go to the different departments, including the actual building area that the engine is being put together, and then I would verify that certain things were being done the right way, according to the specs, according to the manual. I would also make sure that people that worked on those particular parts of the engine were following their standard work to make sure that they were on target for the build of the engine, to make sure that it was on time for delivery at Kennedy Space Center.
Oh, wow. Amazing. Okay. What has been the biggest challenge you have faced in your career so far?
The biggest challenge that I would say is keeping people from knowing exactly what I did, especially when I travel. Um, not saying too much of the uh, details of the project that I was working on, uh,
Why?
because some things were military
Oh,
and some things were not military.
got
And
it.
so I really couldn't talk about it. It was exciting. I wanted to say, hey, this is what's going on. But I had to keep quiet and keep working. And most of the people that in my social life did not know exactly what I was doing or working on. And just like I went and did a presentation a couple of weekends ago, and I had to tell the folk that when I was here living and working, y'all had no idea that this is what I was doing. So that was for national security when it comes to exposing who's doing what so that it wouldn't jeopardize the project or I wouldn't have to worry about being kidnapped to get information
Wow,
about what I did.
that's scary, you know? That's very scary.
Yes.
All right. Can you tell us about a space mission that personally impact you?
Well, the mission that impacted me was Artemis 1. And you saw the rocket, of course, in the previously uh, that just went to the moon a couple of years ago. And back 12, 13 years prior, we worked on that mission for it to go. And to see it happen and to see the rollout and to see it work exactly like we designed it to work as far as the mission, flawlessly, without any problems or error, and without any astronauts on board, gave us a good indication that everything we did was right.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's exciting. All right. So, how is NASA preparing for future mission to Mars or beyond? You know something about it?
Yes, what they're working with a couple of contractors. Elon Musk is one. The SLS uh, rocket itself. We have Blue Origin. Uh, let's see. There's a couple of other orbiters that are in design uh, for the mission. And for Mars, we want to have several capabilities in case one system fails or we need an emergency uh, rescue. We have about four different ways of getting to space to cover our bases all the way around. And the Mars mission, the test bed for it is on the moon. The Mars mission is a big project where we have the orbiters around Mars. We have the robots that
Yeah.
are crawling around Mars, getting information, feeding it back, and we also have another robot that is going to go there so they can bring back samples of Mars soil so we can know what we're facing. Dealing with actually the radiation from the sun, how it affects the planet, and how it affects human life when we do go to Mars for our survivability, and then what we'll need as a habitat to survive there, because Earth is our habitat. This is our protection. Mars doesn't have very much protection at all.
Oh, are you rather go to the Mars?
As long as we have all of our protection in place, I have no problem going. But
Well,
radiation is the biggest, one of the biggest things that we are facing because our bodies are are carbon based, and our DNA is affected by radiation for it to be changed or mutated, which causes cancer.
oh wow,
And
see.
cancer from radiation, of course, is a big problem because the sun is emitting constantly
Ooh,
radiation, and our Earth, the way it is set up, buffers and keeps us from being affected by that radiation. And so when we leave this planet, we are in the full blast of the sun's radiation.
that's a big job for the science, please. It's a mission. That's a great mission. So, what new technologies are currently being developed and how will they change space explorations?
The new technologies really are surrounding man surviving in a harsh environment of space. It's a vacuum, but there's gamma rays, there's X rays, there's um, ultraviolet. There's all these different frequencies of energy that are in space, and so the new technologies to circumvent that also are technologies that could protect us here on Earth better than we are being protected. So also medical science, how you would operate in space, how you would be able to deal with medicines in space in a zero gravity environment. They're developing instruments that would counter that, that simulates being here on Earth. Artificial gravity, they want to develop some type of artificial gravity so that our bodies will maintain its muscle mass and bone density. So that's something that they're considering with the new technologies. There might
Mm-hmm.
be supplements that will augment us to keep us stronger. Other than that, any part of our body that begins to disintegrate because of zero gravity, we have to develop new techniques to maintain our strength.
Wow. And my last question, what advice would you give to someone dreaming of working in space exploration?
I would tell them to follow their dream. If you're dreaming about it, look at what it takes to go there and be part of that environment. When it comes to space, they're going to need every function that we use here on Earth. They're going to need janitors, they're going to need sanitation, they're going to need medical facilities, they're going to need transportation. They're going to need accountants. I mean, and you imagine on Mars, there's going to be some type of money system to where you can operate debits and credits. You know, probably have credit cards, so you can go buy your goods. And so the same system that they have here on Earth will be on Mars as well for everybody else. So you're going to need bankers. You're going to need people are going to die, so you need
Oh my
crematory,
God.
funerals. You know,
Oh,
burial
all right,
grounds.
don't say that part
Uh,
because you're gonna scare people. And my son then doesn't want to go to Mars, and he said, "I'm not
so
gonna fly. I'm not gonna fly, and I don't want that."
So everything that happens on Earth would happen there, and so we need everybody that works the details here on Earth to work those same details on Mars. So there's going to be wide open job market. Whatever your specialty is, you'll be able to do it on Mars.
Oh, nice. And before we end this, I will try to finish what he's doing. So I'm gonna change the six so we can say bye when I try to write this. Can
You
I
want to
try?
fly? Sure.
I want to try it, and I will see how I can fly this machine, this spaceship. So what I have to do first?
So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to put your feet on the pedals
This one?
and your left pedal, and we're going to give it some power.
Okay. I am scary. Oh my god. I'm ready to fly. Oh my god, it's going by itself?
Yeah.
So
Push
what I do?
a little right pedal. Push a little,
Okay.
just a little. Keep it straight. Little right, just right. Not there,
Right.
not here. There, we're in the air.
I'm
Hold on,
back.
hold on. Don't pull, don't
Don't fly with me, you're gonna die.
pull.
I don't get it. I didn't
So we are
even
now in the air. So
and
push forward.
thank God. So I should press the thing in the bottom, the pedal.
No, you don't need the pedals anymore. So
Okay.
now we are flying
I'm
and
sweating. Where we are.
we are headed towards. So we are now headed toward Sanibel Island.
Sanibel, let's go to the beach. Okay.
And there you are flying, perfect, picture perfect.
I'm flying. I don't know how I even drive a car in. Just believe it how I can drive this thing. All right. All right. Thank you, Mr. Dance. Again, give me your hand. Shake it. So you can give me your good luck and give me this opportunity to interview you, to let me come here
Yes.
and have this exciting experience to be with you. And this training, I don't want to fall down, but thank you, everybody. And I hope you enjoyed this amazing interview and learning a little bit about space. You want to say something last
I
thing?
would. The one thing I would say is if you dream of flying or going to space, um, you should follow your dream, find out how to make it happen and make it happen.
Amazing. Thank you. So I hope my son can hear that. And thank you, everybody. So I see you in the next time, in the next interview. And you are with Barbie Sánchez en Casita con Barbie. Ya regresamos. Bye. Wait. Nos fuimos.
SRB separation confirmed. Main engine cutoff confirmed. Booster officer reports ET separation.
Endeavour Houston, we see a nominal MECO, ohms 1 not required. Welcome to space.
an airplane, and it's going to be reusable. Can't do that with a rocket. It's not a rocket. It's a shuttle. Now it's time to go to the next step.